Hi, I'm Dave Skurtovich, Chief Creative Officer.
And I'm Mitch McCoy, VP of Strategic Accounts. And today we're here to talk to you about responsive design. It's a very hot topic. We've been doing development in the Silicon Valley for many years, websites, mobile apps, online tools, all sorts of things. And I'm here to tell you that responsive design is critical, but it's also very complex to implement. And what we're here to talk to you about is how to make it easy.
Right. So in the simplest form, responsive design changes the layout of your website for the device you're viewing it on. For example, on a laptop, the website is much wider and images are larger. On mobile, the website is taller and the images are smaller.
Good point. So how important is responsive design today?
So as we all know, mobile has taken over. So it's not a question of should you implement for mobile, it's a question of how you implement for mobile.
Yeah, absolutely. And even in the corporate world, corporations are dealing with BYOD, bring your own device. And so the consumer world, clearly they're accessing your sites with mobile devices and tablets. And the same thing is happening in the corporate world. So it's a must-have.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so then there is a lot of complexity with it. When you're building out your site, you have to consider so many different devices. You have laptop, you have desktops, you have many different mobile devices, you have many different tablet devices. So those are a lot of considerations. There's also browsers.
Browsers, Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, all the different operating systems, very complex.
Absolutely. All right, so then the next question is how do we simplify for the responsive?
Right.
We want to. There's a couple key things to do when you're simplifying, building out the menu structure.
Menu structure is one of my favorite ways to approach this, especially when you've got something already started. You've got a website that's been around for a long time. Focus on just making the menu structure work for responsive design. And what we like to do is take the menus just as they are and implement it so that hover over won't work on a mobile device, right? So that's the first thing you have to fix. So make it so on a mobile device you can click on it and the menu drops down. Now if there's a second level menu on that, what you want to do is on the first level menu you click on the name and it would take you to the page. And to the right of that you can have a drop down button. So you click on that and the second tier of that menu drops down and you can click on that and go to a page. That's a very simple way to make your website responsive by just changing the menu structure.
Great. Another way is to just make sure you develop for two devices for two layouts. You develop for a desktop layout and you develop for a mobile layout. And you keep that simple from across the board. From start to finish, you develop that way or you design that way.
Right. Another very smart path to take is to look at the tools that are already available to you today out there. So for example, the menu structure that I just talked about, there's plugins out there today that will do that for you. Make it simple and use these tools that are out there.
Absolutely. And if you're building a photo gallery, you can go grab an add-on or a plugin that simplifies that development process greatly.
Yeah. So design is another key piece. How do you design for responsive, Dave?
Right. So as I was mentioning, start to finish, think about those two layouts. When you're building out wireframes, desktop and mobile. When you're doing the design, desktop, mobile. When you're handing it off to the engineers, there's a very clear understanding of how that works. And also, you're getting sign off at each step of the way for both of those devices. No surprises at the end.
Yes, very key, very key. For me, one of the most critical parts in doing responsive design implementations is the QA process, right? We talked about the myriad of devices, the different operating systems, and all the different browsers. So make sure that your lab has all the devices and operating systems and browsers that you need and test thoroughly.
Absolutely. And don't rely on emulators all the way. It's a good way to test a little bit, certainly layout and a little bit of functionality, but for those key devices, you really need them in-house to test on.
Great points. Now we're touching on this on a very high level. There's obviously a lot more to this, but there are ways to keep it simple and make it very easy. So if you'd like to learn more, you want to talk to us about this, our contact information is going to be online. So just drop us an email or give us a call.
Great.